Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL. I am Chase Earl, joined by Alex Lord, and we are also joined by Slade Bolden, former Alabama wide receiver and former Falcons wide receiver. He was with the team throughout the preseason, so he got to see Desmond Ridder. He got to see Taylor Heinicke. We now know Taylor Heinicke is the starter for at least week 9. I know me and Alex both think it's probably going to be for the rest of the season as long as he doesn't, piss down his leg. But I want to ask you, Slade, because you caught balls from these guys. What should we expect from Heinicke, as a leader, as a teammate, his mindset going into this game, and just as a player?
I agree that both that Desmond Ridder and Taylor Heinicke are both good players. Obviously, they're good quarterbacks. They wouldn't be in the position they are if they weren't. I think they're both talented. But the one thing that I was impressed by with Taylor Heinicke was just his ability to make plays happen and just to not be afraid to throw the ball down the field and whatever coverage there may be. He's very good at reading the defense and very understanding of what involves and making those plays and making it easy, because as a receiver you want easy catchable balls, and I feel like Taylor Heinicke is very good at that. He has a great touch. He puts it in place where no one else can get it. I mean, I got an example. He threw a ball, it was during practice, so it's obviously different than a game situation, but we have this route where if it's cover 2, you convert to a fade basically, and it ends up being like a hole shot, and we were in on the 30-yard line going into the end zone, and obviously it was cover 2. I converted, and I'm like, we have, and the safety that's playing that side of the field is like 6'6", and I'm like, okay, he may not throw this, right? But I'm running, because I got to run the route at the best of my ability, because you never know when the ball is going to come your way. So I'm running, and I'm looking back after about 10 yards, and I obviously see Taylor looking at me like, okay, he's about ready to roll. He throws it, and I'm talking, he lets it fly. And next thing you know, I'm full speed sprinting, and he throws it perfectly in the back of the end zone over this 6'6" safety, and I'm able just to catch it over my shoulder in the back of the end zone. And, obviously I was hyped. I mean, it was a beautiful play. I couldn't be more ecstatic on the situation. But I think Taylor Heinicke, at the end of the day, is a gamer. He's going to go out there, and he's going to do whatever it takes to win. Yeah, he's going to create plays with his feet as well. I think he makes great decisions. And, he may throw a pick or two, but at the end of the day, that's a part of it. That's a part of trying to make plays and make things happen. But I think now that you see, especially after that game last week where he came in against Tennessee, you can start to see things opening up. We have receivers. I think that receiver group is very talented. Unfortunately, I was not able to be a part of that, but either way, they're very talented, and I think he was able to exploit that talent against Tennessee, and you could see that for the first time how he's able to, just on with just some great timing. Boom, it's a 5-step drop. He's got to make a play action, but he's letting it fly as soon as he's coming off that last drop in his the last step in his drop. You can see it. I believe he's going to make this offense a lot more explosive. Obviously this offense is great at run game. You got Bijan, you got Tyler Algier, you got CPAT, you got all these guys that can make explosive plays in the run game. But I think with that run game, he's going to be able to exploit the defense by passing the ball down the field as well.
Yeah, a couple of things I wanted to point out. You mentioned, experience is obviously a difference between Heinicke. Heinicke's about 30 years old. Ritter's third-round pick, hasn't even had a full season under his belt. And another thing, playmaking. You saw it against the Titans. He evaded 2 would-be pass rushers, scrambled for a first down. And I think that, a gamer, a Gruden grinder is a great way to describe Taylor Heinicke. Every single time he comes off the bench, regardless of where it's been. In Atlanta, you saw the spark he provided. And you could trace that back to Washington when he came off the bench for the Commanders. He was that spark. So I definitely expect kind of, at the very least, it's going to be an entertaining watch. And like you said, he's a gunslinger. He takes risk. In with that, turnovers are going to come. So I don't necessarily think he's going to play the cleanest of all games, which Falcons fans have kind of gotten used to, Ritter's ball protection issues and everything. But I think at the very least, it's going to be a hell of a watch. It should be fun. He's explosive with his arm and his legs. I think that's one of the things that I'm most excited about, that when the pocket, the play, whatever breaks down, and Heinicke still, like I mentioned in the last segment, those LSU and Bama quarterbacks, you could do everything right, and then Taylor Heinicke somehow escapes and gets positive yards, or just, gets rid of the ball. So avoids a negative play. And those are the things I'm expecting from Taylor Heinicke, avoiding negative plays, maybe a little bit more explosive passing. I wanted to ask you, what kind of guy is he like? Because the quarterback position is much different than any position in all of sports. It's the hardest, most important position in all of sports. I truly do believe that. But it's that way because you're kind of like a captain on the battlefield. Everybody's looking to you. So when crap hits the fan and you start to panic, your guys might start to panic. So speak to the guy, the person that Taylor Heinicke is.
Dude, Taylor's a great dude. He's a bro. He's for the boys. I mean, he is about as normal as it gets when it comes to outside the facility. He likes to golf. He likes to, have a good time. He's a bro. And I will say this, he's got that little swagger to him. I compare, and that's the thing you gotta kind of have to have. Not too much swagger where it's cocky, but you got to have that swagger because it's confident. And I believe that he shows that aspect of himself because he can go out there and he knows it, like, I'm going to have this ball in my hands. I'm going to make plays. So, like, you guys can get behind me and trust that I'm going to make it happen. So, even though, Taylor's probably not the most athletic, probably doesn't have the greatest arm, but he has shown, even with Washington, how, like, confident he is when he gets into the game. He is ready. He's ready to take on the challenge. He's ready to do whatever it takes to win. And that's the gamer part of it. That's the swagger he has. That's the confidence he has. And everybody else feeds off that. When you are out there and you are making plays and you're fired up and you're like, let's, go, let's get after it. That's when the team rallies behind you and is ready to take on the next challenge. And I believe that's what Taylor has. He's also a great dude. I've talked to him many times. He's cool. And he also is very composed and, he loves the game and he's been through a lot. He's had to, has some many ups and downs in his career. And I believe that's what also helps him, go out there and just like, whatever happens, but I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do whatever I can to help this team win. And I'm going to do it and have fun. I'm going to play with a little swagger and a little confidence so that I can get these guys to rally behind me.
Yeah, that fearlessness is, I think, what made him so beloved in Washington. A lot of people, we've talked a lot about Taylor Heinicke, and one thing that constantly is flooded with is some Washington fans that get whiff of this, and they love the dude. They love the dude because of his fearlessness, from his ability to just come off the bench, come out of nowhere, and he just lets it rip, man. Because what has he got to lose, man? The guy was out of the league. It took him a while to get here, and now he has his opportunity. He's going to make the most of it. So I'm super excited to see what happens this week and probably the rest of the season, and hopefully the Falcons can make the playoffs. Slade, thank you so much for joining us. Really good to hear your insight about the Falcons and the Tigers. Coming up after the break, we're going to get into some predictions in college football week 10.